The Ross Lyons, you've been monitoring Ross's public commentary more than anyone. You're a little bit obsessed with his narrative post-game, and you picked up on something else on the weekend.
No, well, he was very big in the post-match media. And he's handling it much better than what he was. He was a lot of excuses. The excuses have gone, but have a listen, because he wanted to focus on the now, but then 10 seconds later, he went to the past.
But it's about what you got in front of you. Every team's got injuries. So, look, we're in a lot of close games. We didn't get it done. You know, now we're not playing great footy. Look, we're transitioning. We're playing... Last year we played finals, and not many talk about it, but the informed ones do, and the ones that want to prosecute a positive case will tell you no one played more 21 unders and got more games than on and played finals in the last 15 years than us.
Yeah, I just don't think anyone cares about the past now. You play the young ones so that you're better the following year. Now, these are the difference. He was also quizzed on basically the same core of players run out there last year to that final series that's running out there now. This is the difference. Are any of those difference makers? No. The core group, and he referenced Gresham a lot and Butler, they're not going to move the needle for the Saints. And I just thought, once again, he's got to be honest with his message and the way he wants to play, absolutely not getting through to his playing group.
Matthew, Ross addressed the board last week and conceded that they weren't performing up to expectations, and there was disappointment.
Yeah, and what I find interesting is he spoke about the 21 and unders, but I think as we sit here right now, it's probably they're alongside Richmond in as far away as any club to win a premiership, and Richmond have won 3. So this is
further than North.
Yeah, I
West
think
Coast.
I think so.
Oh, Matthew,
yeah.
Further than North.
Yeah, I think North's kids are far superior than St Kilda's. So that's an opinion. And what I worry about for Ross's greatest strength was always getting his players to play as he wants. And I watched the media conference too, and he spoke about even the marks. Melbourne took 124 marks. They couldn't stop, and they can't get their ball movement right going inside 50. They can't defend the way they want. So he's got problems absolutely everywhere.
And there's this great struggle of identifying where they are or who they are, and the St Kilda board has led this struggle, Caro, and the president has been quoted at different times. We wanted to recap because he did forecast, which didn't get picked up too much at the time, that it wasn't certain that they would go forward as a club under Ross Lyons straight away.
Are we genuinely on the path to contending, or are we kidding ourselves? Are we at serious risk of getting stuck into the 6 to 10 zone? All sorts of questions related to that. And the answers I got were troubling in terms of our confidence to come up with a plan with conviction. We want the new coach to be set up to build the foundations right, to get the process right. And if that takes us backwards before it takes us forwards, we hope it does not, but if it does, we'll cop it and we'll maintain the courage of our convictions.
Well, that's very fair on Andrew Bassett, because last week we had him, probably in the middle of a false dawn, really, last June, being a lot more positive. My problem with Andrew is that now they're leading this club charge with the AFL about father-sons. They don't like academies, particularly the northern academies. They want to play less games at Marvel Stadium and more games at the MCG. They've become a club that is, some would say, standing up for themselves, but some would say saying it's not fair, give us this, when they've really got to get their own house in order, don't they?
Yeah, especially on field as well. And what Lloyd was referencing with getting the players to play the way that they want, a game was highlighted. Now, here's Dave Misson speaking about their, tactics and their advice to the players on how they want to play, particularly with their ball movement.
In a general sense, we are looking to move it quick and, get it into our forward line with as much sort of low density in that forward line as we can. But I think, on reflection after the Hawthorn game, we probably think the players are a little bit confused as to how to do that. So we feel that we've spent a lot of time trying to clarify what quick ball movement is.
That was pre-game, and this is during the game, where the last thing you want to do against Melbourne is kick the ball high inside your forward 50. And Jake Lever wasn't even there, and Melbourne took 19 intercept marks. They made Adam Tomlinson look like Glenn Jakovic. Honestly, if that's kicking to low-density numbers, if that's the instruction, that's the reason the message isn't getting through. There is clearly a lot of confusion amongst this St Kilda playing group, because there's no way you would instruct them to play that way against Melbourne.
Melbourne responded really well after the loss to the West Coast Eagles the week before, and Max Gawn, what a performance he put in. 27 disposals, 10 score involvements, 10 inside 50s, and this is his record at the moment. So it'll be a 7th All-Australian, probably a 3rd best and fairest. And I was talking to Damo today around, is he second to Simon Madden. Like, that's sort of the areas that he's getting into.
Yeah, it had me thinking legend status in the Australian Football Hall of Fame. I think that's the path. I think that's the path. If you're the best ruckman to ever play the game, and if you're in that conversation, you are eventually, now whenever it happens, a legend in the Australian Football Hall of Fame. He's looking for a 7th All-Australian.
He'll leave a big hole when he goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's Kane's point on Brodie Grundy. Kane was saying, I'd keep Grundy just because of the fact that he's going to leave at some point. And how do you fill that void of losing Max?
Well, it doesn't look like it's happening next year or any time soon.